Hi friends, welcome back. This is a longer story. We're on to double digits in our chapters. This is chapter 10. And just to let you know, I'm pretty sure there are 13 chapters in this story. So we're getting close to the end. And remember, we have a newer character. We have Buddy Unkenholtz, who has very, very adamantly, very strongly defended his brother and his character and his honor, and said that neither of them took the baseballs. But we're also kind of, a saying is, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, where they think they know that he didn't do it, but they don't know who did it. So Pete is still stuck in jail. Officer Fallon says until they figure any differently, Pete has to stay where he is. So here we are, chapter 10. Welcome back. Buddy gasped. His eyes grew wide, and Dink thought he would start crying. "Don't worry, Buddy. Pete will be fine till we get to the bottom of this," Officer Fallon said. He looked at the troubled teenager. "But what are we going to do with you?" "What do you mean?" Buddy asked. "How old are you, son?" Officer Fallon asked. 14, Buddy said, "but I'll be 15 in 3 months. 14, Officer Fallon repeated. "So I can't let you stay in that trailer alone." It's because he's considered a minor. 18 is when you're considered an adult, at least in the eyes of the law. So it's not really safe for someone who's only 14 years old to be at home forever by himself. So they've got to kind of figure out what they're going to do with him. Buddy glanced up with a sly look in his eye. "So why don't you put me in jail with Pete?" Sly means kind of sneaky. Officer Fallon laughed. "No, that won't do." "He can stay with us," Dink said. "My folks won't mind. We've got a spare room." Officer Fallon turned his gaze on Dink. "Are you sure?" "I can call my mom and ask her," Dink said. "Sound all right with you?" Officer Fallon asked Buddy. "Sure, I guess," the boy said. He looked at Dink. "Thanks, man." Officer Fallon handed his phone to Dink. 2 minutes later, it was settled, and Dink hung up. "Mom says Buddy can stay as long as he needs to," he said. "She's getting 2 huge pizzas for tonight." "Cool," cried Josh. Then he looked at Dink. "I'm invited, right?" Dink nodded. "Ruth Rose, too. We'll all have a party." "Okay, why don't I drive you 4 to Dink's right now?" Officer Fallon asked. "Can I go get my toothbrush and stuff?" Buddy asked. Officer Fallon stood up. "Fine, we'll stop at the trailer first. Shall we go?" Dink, Josh, Ruth Rose, Buddy, and Pal all climbed into Officer Fallon's cruiser. Buddy rode up front, and Pal lay sprawled across Josh's lap in the back. It took only a minute to reach the quiet campsite. Officer Fallon parked near the picnic table. "Buddy, I need to search the trailer before you go inside," Officer Fallon said. "Search for what?" Buddy asked. "As far as I can see, both you and your brother had a chance to take the baseballs," Officer Fallon said kindly. "I want to believe you, but there are too many unanswered questions about those baseballs. If they're not in your trailer, that's 1 question answered." Buddy dug in his pocket, then handed over the key to the trailer. "But you won't find them," he muttered. This is Buddy handing over the key to Officer Fallon, and you can see all the kids and Pal in that police cruiser. Officer Fallon climbed out of his cruiser. He strode to the trailer and used Buddy's key to let himself inside. "He doesn't believe me," Buddy grumbled. He picked up a pine cone and tossed it into the trash barrel. "Officer Fallon just wants to find Mr. Pocket's baseballs," Dink said. "They're really valuable." "Well, he won't find them in our trailer," Buddy insisted. "I believe you," Ruth Rose told Buddy. "If you and your brother didn't steal them, we have to find out who did." "Great, but how?" Buddy asked. "Anyone could have snuck into the clubhouse." "But only people who came to the game knew the baseballs were in that glass case," Dink said. "Oh my gosh," Josh said. "The thief might live right here in Greenlawn." "Yeah," Dink grumbled. He was remembering the hundreds of people sitting in the bleachers. Was one of them the baseball thief? "The first pitch was at 11 o'clock, Buddy said. "What time did Pete go inside for his medicine?" Dink asked. "It was around 11:15, which is 11:15. So that's 15 minutes from the first pitch until Pete went inside. It was around 11:15, Buddy said. Then I went looking for him a few minutes later. That's when I saw the smashed case and took off for the trailer. So that means someone stole the balls between 11 and 11:15, Ruth Rose said. So they've got a timeline. That's kind of where we're leaving off for today. And that's about it. Right now, all they have is that timeline, and we have no new suspects other than the hundreds of people who were at the game. So that's not much of a help now, is it, when you've got hundreds of suspects? Until next time, friends, I will see you soon.